The rain softened the edges of the world, long curtains of mist blurring the city lights into trembling reflections. Adrian Myles stood beneath the awning of the old gallery on 9th Street, staring at the flickering sign that had been half dead for years. Hartwell Exhibitions, it read, though the hour buzzed weakly, threatening to vanish. The gallery had been closed for more than a decade, yet tonight, a handwritten wooden board hung outside. One night only private viewing, collection of the lost canvas. Adrian should have kept walking. He knew that from the moment he felt the strange pull in his chest, an instinct he had learned to trust. But something inside the gallery breathed, waiting, calling in a silence he could not ignore. He was a photographer by trade, a wanderer by soul, and a man far too familiar with the curiosity that bordered on compulsion. So, he stepped inside. The door creaked along, pained groan, as if the building itself remembered him. The air was stale with dust and faint turpentine, and somewhere deep inside, he sensed movement. Not footsteps, not even a presence. It was more like a shifting of the atmosphere. The entire gallery was empty except for a single beam of light illuminating the far wall, where a large canvas stood draped under a black cloth. No name, no label, no explanation. Just a pulsing hum of anticipation. Adrian's throat tightened. He wasn't alone. "Good evening," a voice murmured. A man emerged from the shadows, thin, tall, wrapped in an old charcoal coat. His hair was silver, brushed back neatly, and his eyes were the pale blue of winter ice. He moved like someone accustomed to silence, someone who lived in the spaces between heartbeats. "You've arrived early," the man said, "but perhaps that is for the best. The first viewing is always sharper." Adrian cleared his throat. "Are you the curator? A curator of sorts?" the man replied. "But tonight, consider me only a guide." He didn't offer his name. He didn't ask Adrian's. There was something unsettling about how certain he seemed that Adrian belonged here. Adrian gestured toward a loan display. "What's under the cloth?" The man smiled, very slowly. "Something rare, something true. A painting that does not depict what the artist saw, but what you see. I don't understand. You will." The man approached the canvas, his fingers lightly brushing the cloth. For a moment he paused, as if listening to the painting beneath it. The gesture should have been ridiculous, yet Adrian felt the faintest pressure in his chest, like a hand curling around his ribs. "The lost canvas," the man whispered, "is said to reveal not your reflection, not your memories, but the quiet thing your mind avoids. The fear you've disguised so well you no longer recognize it." Adrian forced a shaky laugh. "Sounds like a gimmick, does it?" The gallery lights flickered, the air thinned, and suddenly, Adrian wasn't so sure. "May I see it?" he asked, his voice softer now. The man stepped back, holding the cloth edges in both hands. "Once revealed, the painting does not forget its viewer. Even if you walk away, it will follow, not physically of course, but within the waking corners of your mind." Adrian swallowed. The building groaned again, thunder rumbled outside, and the man pulled away the cloth. At first, Adrian saw only color-deep strokes of ochre and umber, a shadowed archway, a suggestion of a room that felt half-formed. It didn't resemble any literal scene he knew, but it stirred something uncomfortably familiar in him, like looking into a childhood dream that had curdled into a nightmare. He took one step closer. The painting shifted. Not literally, not in the way that paint could move, but the shapes reorganized themselves in his vision. The shadows deepened. The archway narrowed. The colors tightened into a labyrinth of browns and blacks. He blinked. The painting pulsed. A faint ache bloomed behind his eyes, like a memory desperately trying to surface. "What is this?" Adrian whispered. The man folded his hands behind his back. "Tell me what you see." Adrian tried to answer, but the words dried on his tongue. Because in the depths of the swirling darkness, a form was emerging. A silhouette he recognized instantly, not because he had seen it before, but because he had spent his entire adult life avoiding it. It was a door he feared, a door he had locked in his mind years ago, hoping never to open again. He had not spoken of that door, not to his friends, not to his therapist, not even to himself in the quiet hours of the night. Yet the painting knew. His pulse hammered against his ribs, the air turned cold, a tremor ran through his body. He took a stumbling step back. "I don't want to see this," he said, his voice raw. "But you already have," the man replied gently. "The painting responds to the soul. The moment you stepped into the gallery, it began listening." Adrian tore his eyes away, but the image remained burned against the back of his eyelids. That door, that impossible door. No, not impossible, forgotten. His breathing became unsteady, shallow. When he turned back toward the curator, the man was watching him with an expression that was almost pity. "Do you understand now?" the curator asked softly. "This is not a painting you observe, it is a painting that observes you." Adrian stumbled backward, his hand out, seeking a wall that wasn't there. The shadows in the gallery thickened, moving like slow tides. He felt something inside the painting shift again, but he refused to look. He needed air. "I should go," Adrian muttered. "I shouldn't have the lights snapped off." Complete darkness swallowed him. He froze. "Hey, what happened?" No answer. Turned the lights back on. Still nothing but the pounding in his ears. He reached into the void, searching for the wall, for anything to ground himself, but the floor felt wrong beneath his feet, softer, uneven, as though the gallery walls had melted away into new shapes. Then, a faint glow appeared behind him. He turned slowly, his heart seizing in his chest. The painting was glowing, and the door in the painting was no longer just depicted, it was half open, leaking a thin sliver of golden light. A light he remembered, a light he feared. "Stop," Adrian whispered to the empty room. "Don't open," but the painting did not listen. The door inside it creaked, widening, and from the growing gap, a soft, childlike whisper drifted out, filling the silence. Adrian, his knees buckled. No, that voice was impossible. It belonged to someone who did not exist anymore, someone he had lost, someone he had failed. The darkness pressed in, and the whispering from the canvas grew louder, closer, calling his name again and again, pulling him into the memory he had sworn he would never face.